Hello, great night. How are you? Mr. Newlab is here again. Today, I want us to look at straight lines and also the gradient. Okay. Now, a straight line is given by this formula. Y is equals to mx plus c, where the m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. Okay. So, when you take this standard formula for linear graph, this m or whatever number you find here, it can be a or whatever. If that number is multiplying x, it means it is the gradient. Then the constant c is the y-intercept. Okay, today we are going to concentrate on the what? Gradient, which is the same as the slope. Now, we have this graph A, -2, 4, and B, 1, -4. And you are told to find the gradient of the graph. How do you find the gradient? Okay, this one, the grade is not given. So we are going to solve without using the grade, and we'll do another one using the grade. Okay, so here, this A, you call it x1, y1, and this B, you call it x2, y2. Then the gradient is given a formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The y2, what is the y2? That's -4 minus y1, which is what? 4. So we see it here. Then x2 is 1 minus x1. What is x1? -2. So this is the -2. Let me repeat. x2 is 1. This is the 1 minus, this is the minus x1. What is x1? -2. This is the -2. Is that okay? Now let's press this on the calculator. The numerator is going to give us -4 minus 4, which is -8. And the denominator is going to give us 1 minus -2 will give you 1 plus 2, which is 3. Alright. We can also use the calculator to press -4 minus 4 over 1 minus -2. And this gives us what? -8 over 3. Now we have another graph with a grade. This is the grade. Look at how it's labeled. At the right hand side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The intervals are the same. They are the same. Then at the left hand side, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. The intervals are what? The same. Then this side, you see where I've written the 0. Good. Doesn't mean that the 0 is here. 0 is what? Here, in between the intersection of x and y. So this side we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Then down here also we have -1, -2, -3, -4, etc. Then we have this point. X is 2, 2, 1. X is 2, y is 1. So x is what? 2, y is what? 1. Then here x is 4, y is what? 5. Okay. So let's bring this point down, and I've called this one A, and 4, 5 also B. Okay, so this x1 is 2, y1 is 1, x2 is 4, y2 is 5. And the gradient formula is saying y2 minus y1. So y2 is 5 minus 1. So you see that we have 5 minus 1. y2 is 5 minus y1 is 1. So we have minus 1 over x2 is 4 minus, is the 4 minus x1, which is 2. Are we together? Okay, now we are going to have this one, gradient, which is this. Okay, we are going to find the gradient again using the grade. Even the first one we can use the grade. We got 2 now. Let's use the grade. So y is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did you get for y? It's 5 minus 4. Let's get it there. From here you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you don't count from the down here because this side is where the point is. So you count from here. Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count from here, you are going to get 5. You're supposed to count from here because the point is here. So this side is going to be from here 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the 4 we had this side. That's the 4. And let's see whether we get these 2. So we count from here to this side. So 1, 2. So that is the 2. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, let's use the grade again. Now the grade, you know, we count the y first. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. This is the 3 divided by, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 divided by 6 is going to give us half. So the gradient is what? 1 over 2. Let's press. 3 divided by 6. 1 over 2. Okay. So gradient, the symbol is what? M. So M is equals to 1 over 2. Gradient is equal to 1 over 2. Describe the gradient and the y-intercept of this equation. It's not written in a standard form, so we must write it in the standard form. So 3y, we are going to transpose this minus 6x to this side. It's going to be plus 6x. Alright, plus 6x is the same as what? 6x. Okay. Now we are going to divide both sides by what? 3. So you divide this side by 3, this side by 3, this side by 3. And 3 divided by 3 will give you 1. 1y is the same as y. Equal to 6 over 3 is what? 2x. Plus 5 over 3. So to describe this, we are going to say that the line has positive gradient and positive y-intercept. The gradient here, this 2 is positive, so it's having positive gradient, and the y-intercept, this one is the y-intercept. Remember we said C is the y-intercept, so the y-intercept is also what? Positive, so positive y-intercept. Then here the question says describe the gradient similar to that one, and the y-intercept, what is it going to be? This is the question. So we transpose this, minus 6x is going to be plus 6x. This 5 is already there, it's already plus. So if you don't see anything here, it means it's plus. Okay, so this is minus 8x, so you divide here by minus 8, here also by minus 8, here also by minus 8. And this gives you minus 8 divided by minus 8 will give you 1x. Then 6 over minus 8 will give you minus 6 over 8. Plus minus will give you minus. Negative gradient, negative y-intercept. What is the gradient and y-intercept of this? How do you do that? Transpose this, minus 4x to be plus 4x. Then this is multiplying. Negative 3 over 5 is multiplying y. If you transpose it, it's multiplying. So you have the reciprocal. So this 5 will move up, and the minus 3 will come down. You have to do the same to this constant also. So this 5 will multiply, so we have 5 times 6, and this negative 3 will come and divide. And what is this one going to give us? We are going to have 5 times 4 . So we have minus 20 over 3, and this one also. Will give you minus 10. Okay. Everybody is gone. Never think, never worry, never think your Lord. So our m, which is the gradient, is equals to minus 20 over 3, and our c, which is the y-intercept or intercept on the y-axis, is minus 10. Alright. Okay. So the question is, what is the intercept on the y-axis for this one? Or what is the y-intercept for this one? Is this minus 1? Ne? That is y, and x is what? 0. So 0 minus 1. That is the y-intercept. What is the x-intercept? This one. And x-intercept is what? 2, 0. We've written it as a coordinate. So you see that this one is not written, but if you want to write it as a coordinate, it's going to be what? Always x comes first. So it's going to be 0, negative 1. Okay. Let's go back. So this is going to be your homework. Go to the exemplary 2022. Solve this question. 13, 14, 15. Good. Now let's look at reflection on the x-axis. If you reflect on the x-axis, x remains the same, y becomes negative. So reflection on the x-axis, x remains the same, y becomes what? Negative. Reflection on x-axis is the same as reflection on the line y is equal to 0. That's what we have here. So to reflect A on the line y is equal to 0 or on the x-axis, we said x remains the same. So this -4 will remain as -4. And y will become what? Negative. So this 5 will be what? -5. Let's look at 7. Reflect A 3, 5 on the x-axis. Let's see how we reflect it on the x-axis. Reflection on the x-axis is the same as y is equal to what? 0. See the first one? Reflection on the x-axis, y is equal to 0. The same. Alright. So this we have 3. Reflection on x-axis, x remains the same. So this 3 will remain the same. So you see that I've written the same 3 here. And y will become what? Negative. This y is 5. Now I've written -5. Let's look at 8. Reflect 3, 5 on the y-axis. This time it's on the y-axis, not x. And this one, reflection on the y-axis, y remains the same, x becomes negative. And it's the same as x is equal to 0. So reflection on the y-axis, y remains the same, x becomes negative. So y remains the same, this 5 is still 5. This 3, x becomes negative. So this 3 will become -3. And remember, if you are writing point, x must always come first before y. Before y. What are the coordinates of z prime, the image of z, if reflected in the x-axis? This is your homework, and this one also, this one also, and this one also. Bye bye.